Defiance FM.
This is why most podcasts have more than two people.
Well, they have a producer normally who would interrupt.
Say, what's going on?
Maybe we should just completely change tack and say this is like a study of ADHD.
Yeah.
We sound like the last two brain cells banging against each other.
We could just do a supercut of all the strange silences between the words. Ask me some music questions.
Alright. Best album of 2024? Apart from season
I haven't
Neptune.
listened to one. And our album will probably not be released for another 2 years, which will make it the 4th anniversary of its launch show.
The 10-year remastered edition.
Yeah. It's like best. Has there been an album out in 2024? I don't know any new music.
I was looking today.
Spotify just recommends stuff that was released before I was born.
Yeah, I'm stuck at a grunge rut right now with Spotify. Like I'll get something from, I think like White Stripes it'll throw at me, and then that's like something quote unquote recent.
I just go, the best album of 2024 is Revolver or Abbey Road, because it's
the same as it was last year and the year before that.
I can listen to it in this year and it's still to the best. So does that answer your question? I think Green Day's new album was released this year.
Saviours?
Yeah, and I've not listened to any other albums in 2024, and that's still not the best album in 2024 that I've listened to. It's like multiplying something by 0. It's just nothing. It's alright. You know what? To me, I was a massive Green Day fan when I was a kid, and I don't know. It's like you just when you're riding that train of when a band's in the prime, you're enjoying them, and it's like, oh yeah, but what happens afterwards? It's like when Queens of the Stone Age brought out that new record, I was like, oh, it was, this is amazing, but half it was like, I'm so grateful that it wasn't just turgid dross. Like Green Day now, I think, sound just like AI Green Day.
I mean, they're like too self-aware of what
so
they have to sound like or what they think they should sound like.
I don't even think it's that. I think they're just making stuff which is for them, which is fine, because they've earned the right to put out whatever the fuck they want, you know. And it's just like, if you just said to a computer, a super duper AI music computer, do a Green Day album, that's what it would come out with. It's just very Green Day, but very unspectacular, which doesn't make it good or bad. It's just a bit like,
there's no reason to listen to it.
Yeah, it's just like, this is happening.
But then, if you're a band who are known for their punk energy, and everyone knows that you're like a middle-aged millionaire,
yeah,
is it like, even if you could capture that,
well, you've got to move with the times. I mean, you get bands that are still doing that, but they're not the successful one. You get punk bands, you know, that have been going for like 40 years and they've still got that raw punk energy, but because they've never made any money from it, you know what I mean? They're still which is fine. They're still playing like garages and stuff, and like, you know, sheds in the middle of nowhere, and like Rebellion Fest. Yeah, nothing wrong with it, and it's a real cult following, or like a core following of, like, you know, hardcore punk music. But then I think when bands make it, they always change the sound, and, you know, some people don't like it, but then it's what you're meant to do. It's like, I remember when My Chemical Romance brought out Danger Days, which was like after Welcome to the Black Parade. It was like totally different. It's like, well, if you look at Welcome to the Black Parade and the music that they were about, that style of sort of like gothic rock concept work, it's like, what we were talking about before. It's like, when do you start? It's like you can't really do anything better for that style of music than Welcome to the Black Parade. You can't make it any better. You can't make My Chemical Romance any better than that. So you can't just do another Black Parade, 'cause it's not going to be as good. So, it would just, again, start to sound like AI of the same,
You
My Chemical
parody of
Romance.
yourself.
So yeah, exactly. Like,
I really like what Weezer did, which is they have a massive breakout album. It was the Blue album, wasn't it? That's the one with like Buddy Holly and all that.
Yeah, Buddy Holly, and then they did
come out with Pinkerton, which was like recorded by the band themselves, produced by the band themselves.
in a just fit of depression. I think he blacked out all of his windows, and he still, even up until recently, he just wouldn't play anything from it, even though like the album is like one of my favourite ever records. And
it got voted like number 26 on like Rolling Stone's 100 top albums of all time.
Good, and probably like not that many people outside the core fan base and sort of know that much about it, but it is one of those albums when someone else knows it, they're like super enthusiastic about it.
Do you know why he was, amongst other reasons, one of the reasons why he was depressed at the time? It's because he was born with one leg shorter than the other.
Was he?
Yeah, and he had to have, I think after the first album took off and he got a bit of money, he decided to get surgery to fix it, which is, the way they do that is they have to break the leg. You have to wear this like medieval, like ratchet device.
Yeah.
Break the leg, stretch it, let the bone heal, break it again, stretch it, let it heal. So it's like wearing braces for your leg.
Yeah.
And
that'd be a downer.
Yeah, and I think he got addicted to like painkillers, and I don't want to misquote what he said, but my recollection is he got addicted to the painkillers, or he started drinking to get through it, or maybe a mix of both, and then just became a shut-in because he wasn't handling the fame that well either.
But then he, I think he, after Blue album, I think he went to, didn't he just like sort of put the band down and then go and study in Harvard?
Yeah, and he was talking about like, he was in class on the first day and someone turned around and like, are you in Weezer? He's like, shh.
Keep it down. How do you do, fellow school kids? Yeah, it's that's like proper music. That when you're writing stuff, I'm sure they felt the same about like people that they listen to, but it sort of just puts you in your place. You know what I mean? You can listen to a piece of music which will make you like feel, it'll lift you up and just fill you with energy, which has just come from somewhere, an emotion, and at the same time can just crush you as well, because it's like, if you played like five-a-side and then one day like your mate brings along his mate who's like used to play for Liverpool or something like that, got to the like reserves or something, reserve level, and then played a bit of League Two, had an injury and had to stop, and then he just comes for a kick around and like no one can get near him, and he's like scoring 50 goals by himself and stuff. It's like you can sort of kid yourself up until you experience that and go, a bit more hard work, I could have played.
There's levels to this.
Yeah, and then you go, okay, right, right, yeah, that's a humbling. But then
I've had that in boxing many times, where you'll do sparring with someone who it's only their second, third session.
Yeah.
And okay, they might be bigger than you, and they've got the physical advantages there, but you just sort of rely on good technique, and they might be flapping and you're not because you've done it more.
Yeah.
And you come away from that thinking, yeah, I'm starting to, and then you'll get put with someone who just schools you.
Yeah.
And you just think I look like a beginner again.
That's the thing. When I was, whilst doing martial arts, it's like I like the fitness side of it and like learning new techniques and stuff like that. But then I don't want to get into a real fight because one, they hurt.
Yeah.
And two, I'll just be like, because at the moment I can just sort of watch stuff like Batman and James Bond and go,
I can do that. Yeah. I'll just do a
backflip
over.
If it came to it on a good day, yeah. And then if I just get, kicked in the bollocks by a mugger, then that sort of all goes down.
Did I tell you about my altercation in Spain? I don't think I've talked about this yet.
Oh, it's an exclusive.
We were we were in a pub and there was a Beatles tribute act going, which was they were actually really, really good. I wish I could remember what they were called, but they were four Spanish lads. Beatles. If you can imagine this, there were 4 Spanish lads who all looked like each member of the Beatles. Like they
I can imagine that vividly.
Imagine like Spanish Beatles. They looked like you had to like it was like you time travelled.
Well, let me just take you back to that tattoo convention where there was the Kiss tribute act. I mean, I guess with the makeup, we were so drunk.
If you said to me, "Who's that band playing?" I wouldn't have said a Kiss tribute. I would have said Kiss.
We were livid. We bought into it.
Yeah, I headbutted the roof. I was
and then we turned around and we were the only 2 people remotely near the stage pogoing. Remember, and like half of them were the Northern Irish Kiss band, but 2 of them had dropped out, so they had to pay and fly in half of the Kiss band of Italy or Rome.
Ace Frehley.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Not so
and
freely.
Paul, the drummer.
Stanley.
No, he's the. Anyway.
Paul Stanley.
No, because Paul Stanley was the one where we were bladdered again, shameful.
I'm noticing a theme here.
Yeah. If only we could track down the common denominator of this, then we'd be able to live our lives freely.
Undiagnosed alcoholism.
Yeah. And then I just shouted you across the stage, probably 10 times the volume. And he's Andy, look, put me on, man. I mean, Andy, look, it's Ace Frehley. And then the Irish boy just went, I'm Paul Stanley. I'm Paul Stanley. I could have you killed. Sorry, back to the story. You were mugged by the Lost Beatles.
No. I was watching them, and then I came outside because I Ringo works. Yeah, Ringo. Yeah.
El Ringo.
I came outside and I could see further down the street an argument going on, and this is like a packed street full of like old bars with old terraces and all this, like hundreds of people. I could see some kind of altercation going on, and I turn and look at my brother because I see him, and I point and I'm like, "Ha, look at that." And he just looks at me like stone-faced and he goes, "We're involved." So I looked again.
Is this why you stopped drinking? Because at one stage, like, not that you were overweight, but you lost a lot of weight and it was like noticeable.
Oh yeah.
You were like, "Yeah, I packed in the drinking. Is this why?"
That was just like my...
Just in the midst of a brawl, just like, "These idiots, look at this."
So I look and I look again and I think, "Oh, fuck, yeah." And I won't go into the details because I don't want a person who was in... But basically, there was some argy-bargy going on, and then a member of my family in between trying to calm down this very aggressive Scouse fella.
Yeah.
And he was like... He must have been about 6'3", 6'4", and he was just like screaming at this family member, and he's screaming at the other person, and he starts like squaring up. So I went, "Oh fuck," put my pint down, ran over. As I'm like approaching, I approached with my hands out, thinking like I'm gonna mediate this one. And as I walk over, he takes one look at me and just goes and gives me a left hook.
Yeah.
And I stumbled back and hit a table, and the table had a pint on it which fell off and smashed.
Yeah.
So in my head, I associate the two with me getting punched in the face and the sound of glass smashing. Yeah. And I think he's just glassed me in the face fucking hard. I just can't feel the pain yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like touching my face, and that was the other thing as well. Was for some reason, I don't know if it was because he'd been holding a pint or something, there was like condensation on his hand. My face was wet, on one side, and I'm like, "That's blood. That's going to be my blood. Like, like I'm going to look like Harvey Two-Face, basically."
And then somehow from that, you didn't think you were associated with this.
Well, then his mates grabbed him and dragged him backwards, and it was like a cartoon. It was like they had him under there, and his feet were like thrashing.
Yeah.
And he's going, "Fucking hell!" And his mates dragged him off around the corner. And then the next day I had to go to this wedding.
Then you turn around to the bar and go, "Oh, where's my pint gone?" There's someone who's knocked over my pint.
It turns out it was my brother's pint as well.
Yeah.
It had insult to injury. So he was down a pint and I was nearly down half a face.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't see that group again, which I was thinking, because it was a small town and we were going to be there for another week. I thought like realistically we were going to run into them, but I think genuinely, because it was such a small town, in fact we didn't see them, must mean like everyone said, right, fuck this. After that, we're all going home.
Yeah.
Because he was unhinged. You know what I mean? But
what were the Beatles playing at the time? Have they switched from like something? Well, yes, they switched from something to like Helter Skelter that just matched the tempo.
Becoming war.
Yeah, it's like better pick up the pace.
And then I had to go to a wedding, and my face was swollen on one side. So every time the photographer was taking a photo for the whole day,
yeah,
I'd have to like turn my face because I had like a lump on one side. So, yeah.
No, I've not heard.
That's not a reason I don't drink anymore, but it's a reason I don't want to be around drunk people.
Yeah,
it's a good reason not to be around drunk people because some people just can handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's something that I've learned or had to learn how to like mediate, because there is always the embarrassing,
the fear,
the bare fear, just like acting like a prat.
Yeah.
Just acting like a tit. Like a lot of the stuff I've sort of learned more recently is just being able to sort of live relative to the situation and mediate things better, and just, I mean, I think it's called being a grown-up.
Maturing.
Yeah, maybe. It's like just not having a sense of, just a stupid, innocuous sense of pride where there needs to be none.
Someone makes a sideways comment in the pub.
Yeah, exactly. You can help yourself immensely by not putting yourself into a situation or taking yourself out of a situation, mediating it in your head, and it's going back to that thing of like, well, does this really matter to anyone else apart from me in my current mindset? No. So, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, but the thing is, the scary thing is that some people just never take that step of learning, do they? It's like that's their mindset forever.
It's depressing when you meet someone who's like 40 or 50. Do you remember that guy at the... I think we can say the name of the gig, we're not... Yeah, in fact, you know what, I wouldn't name him and shame him if I knew his name. Do you remember that guy at the Junction gig? At the table next to us?
Oh, the fat, bald racist.
Yeah.
I don't think that was his given name, but you know, if it was like in a film, you know, the credits at the end, it's like an extra, which is all like,
yeah, fat bald racist.
Yeah, fat bald racist man, fat man number 2. Yeah, him.
What was he saying? Because he without saying something that could be trimmed to make it sound like we're trying to say it out of context.
Yeah. Yeah.
To paraphrase what he said.
I don't know, they'll still be deep faked anyway.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know. It was something racist.
There was some racism, and then every time we turned and walked away from him, he would go, I'm just joking, fellas. Come on. I'm just joking.
Come back. Come on.
Come on,
and then you realised there was like no one else sat with him.
He was fucking hammered. What?
I don't know. I feel like we should talk more about...
We got on some good runs. So you'll be surprised.
Surprises can be good and bad.
You can play something and then we can discuss. We can dissect. If you consider this the pilot episode, it's pretty darn good.
This is the pilot?
Yeah.
This is the one where they judge it on and go, should we do more?
Yeah, but have you ever seen like... Oh, okay. This is like the US in between us pilot.
Yeah. And you think me playing a song will... You play one from the new record?
Yes.
I'm confused as to your role. So you're like Is it known to the audience and stuff that you're part of the band?
I think they're just going to infer that from the fact they keep talking about the band as we.
Yeah, maybe.
Or I'm just a desperate social climber who's trying to ingratiate himself with the...
What song should I or we?
I think you should do...
Who can prevent forest fires?
Who can prevent this dumpster fire?
It's the best thing you've ever had. How did everybody get it so bad? You can scroll through the memories of all your future enemies. Should I drive home after work? Or a relationship built on quirks? Used to be so easy to do. For you turn right back into you, but it's not you, it's me. When the lights get turned down low, there's a nice man taking you home. The eyes in the back of your head, like the springs in the hospital bed. And your brains have to melt like snow. Don't worry, lean back, you'll be ready to go. But I guess you had to be there. Had me right in the palm of your hand. Kept me quiet in the back of your mind. Hanging on by the skin of your teeth. How could anybody be so blind? When exactly did the poles reverse? When exactly did we lose our way? Was the hardest just to make to leave? But you made it an impossible task for me to stay. When the lights get turned down low, it's a nice man taking you home. The eyes in the back of your head, like the springs in the hospital bed. When your brains have to melt like snow, don't worry, lean back, you'll be ready to go. But I guess you had to be there. Guess you had to be there. Guess you had to be there. It sounds even better when the guitar's in tune. Although I did remember all the words.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I mean, you should do it. It's on the upcoming album.
Yeah.
Closing remarks? Have a good time all of the time. Words to live by.